seat.
Okay. Well, then obviously, chance you're not here yet. If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
Pool Street,
Our street.
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 Pool Street.
Our street.
No justice,
No peace.
no racist police. 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 No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. No racist police.
All right, bear with me, folks. I think I'm live here. I'm just checking. I'm not seeing it on Periscope, but welcome to Minneapolis. If you are seeing this on Facebook or one of the other services, appreciate you tuning in. I'm trying to get it fixed on Twitter here. Give me a moment. It's been a couple months since I've streamed, so we're getting everything on the back end fixed here.
Okay, is that understood? Cool, cool. All right. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so the march is about to begin here. We're in Minneapolis. Bear with me, I'm just getting the technical back end fixed here. I'll be with you guys in just a moment. Protesters for the Take a Knee rally gathering about to march here as close to the entrance to U.S. Bank Stadium as they can get. So initially when this was planned a long time ago, of course, it's with the Take a Knee movement in response to the racism within the NFL and just in our country and police forces in general, which is what that's supposed to represent. But in recent days and the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl here, it's also to represent and have people take notice of the atrocities that's been happening here in the city, pushing out homeless people, sending in the National Guard. They're not supposed to have weapons. They're all over the streets with AKs. But really, they want to emphasize what happened to the homeless people, a lot of them displaced, to make it safe, quote-unquote, for the out-of-town visitors. But it's these people, they have nowhere to go, and they get pushed out, away from their resources, away from their known territories. So part of today is definitely to bring emphasis to those displaced people. All right, sorry folks, I'm just checking. It looks like Facebook Live is working well. Thanks all for tuning in. And I'm having a problem with Periscope right now. My guy in the back end is trying to fix it. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate all the work. But everything else, Ustream, YouTube, and Facebook all seem to be up and live. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We're going to get going here in just a moment. right, so the march is underway.
1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Who's street? 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 Come on, guys. If you guys jump, it's gonna be less cold. Who's street? Who's street? See, I told you. Who's street? Who's street? Who's street? Who's street? Who's street? Our street. Who's street? When people of color are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the homeless are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the native community are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the African community are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the immigrant community are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the LGBT community are under attack, what will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What will we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When I say black lives, you say matter! Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives Black lives
Matter!
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 Black lives Black lives
Matter!
Black lives
Matter!
Black lives Black lives Black lives Black lives The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
The queer community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Women's rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Immigrants are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Our civil rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Our human rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
The Somali community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
The Muslim community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Native tribes are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back! We're gonna say some names. Just repeat after me. I'm gonna start with this. When I say bomb, you say leave. Bomb!
Leave.
Bomb! Bomb!
Leave.
Bomb!
Leave.
When I say Jamar, you say Clark. Jamar!
Clark.
Jamar!
Clark.
Jamar!
Clark.
Jamar!
Clark.
Jamar!
Clark.
When I say Marcus, you say Golden. Marcus!
Golden.
Marcus!
Golden.
Marcus!
Golden.
Marcus!
Golden.
When I say Cordell, you say Handy. Cordell!
Hand.
Cordell!
Hand.
Cordell!
Hand.
Cordell!
Hand.
When I say Sandra, you say Glenn. Sandra!
Glenn.
Sandra!
Glenn.
Sandra!
Glenn.
Sandra!
Glenn.
When I say Sandra, you say Glenn. Sandra!
Glenn.
Sandra!
Glenn.
When I say Justine, you say Devon. Justine! 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 When I say Philando, you say
So thanks for everyone for tuning in
Castile.
here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Castile.
Super Bowl only about an hour away or so, maybe two. Let's see, just over an hour away till Super Bowl. So this Take a Knee rally and march was planned quite a while ago. Obviously in solidarity with Kaepernick, the Take a Knee movement, against racism within the NFL, and obviously the Take a Knee was to represent the systemic racism in our police force across the country. Of course it's in solidarity with that, but in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl here, huge displacement of the homeless population, and they want to bring attention to that today as well. The city comes in, sweeps up all the homeless people, ships them out of town with no consideration for their humanity at all. Basically, we don't have consideration for the humanity on a daily basis, but this really treats them as if they're not human and not worthy of dignity.
Franklin. When I say
And let's see here.
I can't breathe.
I am having trouble with the Periscope channel, sadly, but you can find me obviously on YouTube, Facebook, and Ustream right now live, or just go to RebZ.tv/live for the live player.
The police, I can't breathe, because he was claiming he was selling new cigarettes outside. Can you just imagine that? In the United States of America, a man gets choked to death.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Revolutionary_Z.
I can't breathe. Let that sink in for a moment. The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people of color are under attack.
All right, we're underway.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The people of color are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The queer community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The queer community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Immigrant rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Immigrant rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our civil rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our human rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The Somali community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our human rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back. I want to give a shout out to St. Paul Federation of Teachers, St. Paul teachers. They just voted to go on strike. They have a cool down period right now. And one of the reasons is we're in a city, well, I'm going to say we're in a city where the school system is $30 million in debt, yet we have money for Super Bowls. So I want to send a shout out to the St. Paul teachers. We stand in solidarity. I'm a union member. I work for Minneapolis Public Schools. So I stand in unity with our St. Paul teachers as a Minneapolis educator. And I just want to say, money for schools, not for stadiums. 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 Money for schools, not for stadiums.
Okay, so there's a decision to try to, we need the march to try to less wide and then make it longer. So try to shrink it more and then start moving a little back so it's a longer march.
So we have a lot of people talking here about long march. So if you guys, we want to take the whole street. But if you guys, yes, like that. So we have a long march. See? Now it's longer and longer. See? Woo! Long. Good job, guys.
That's it. Let's have a really nice long march so everyone sees we're standing together for racial injustice, for rights for immigrants, for rights for women, for rights for the queer community, for the Somali community, for the refugees, for the Muslim community, for Native lives. So I want to hear you lead it really loud on this chant. Are you ready? Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we stand, no ban, no wall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
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 Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
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 Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we stand, together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
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 When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives matter. Black Lives matter. Black Lives matter. Can't hear you. Let's try it again. When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives 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 matter. When I say come here, you say rise. Come here. Rise. Come here. Rise. Come here. Rise. Come here. Rise. When I say Eric, you say Garner. Eric. Garner. Eric. Garner. Eric. Garner. Eric. Garner. Eric. Garner. When I say Sandra, you say Blam. Sandra. Blam. Sandra. Blam. Sandra. Blam. Sandra. Blam. Sandra. Blam. When I say Terrence, you say Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. When I say Michael, you say Brown. Michael. 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 Brown. When I say we support, you say Colin. We support. Colin. We support. Colin. We support. Colin. Put your fist in the air. When I say we support, you say Colin. We support. 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 Colin. When I say we want, you say racial justice. We want 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 racial justice. J U S T I C E. What does that spell? What do we want? We are marching for. We are marching for. We want. We want. We want. We want. We want. We want. When I say sexist, you say Trump. Sexist. Trump. Sexist. Trump. Sexist. Trump. Sexist. Sexist! Sexist! When I say racist, you say Trump! Racist! 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 When I say impeach, you say Trump! Impeach! 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 The people of color are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. The people of color are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. The immigrants are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Immigrant rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Immigrant rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our civil rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our civil rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Women's rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Women's rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The queer community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The Somali community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The Muslim community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
The Muslim community is under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Our human rights are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Native lives are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Here we go, Mr. They don't get no peace.
They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no justice. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace. They don't get no peace.
And thanks for everybody for joining me here in Minneapolis. Glad I could be here. Just came here for a stop on my way out west, actually, and fortunately we could time it out with this rally here and the sporting event of some sort that's taking place today. So this is for New Year's. This was a Take a Knee rally. It's been planned for months in advance to coordinate with the Super Bowl. Obviously, in solidarity with Kaepernick and the Take a Knee movement against racism in the NFL, systemic racism in the police force across the U.S. And they also wanted to highlight today in the last couple of weeks, the homeless population of Minneapolis that has been displaced and mistreated to make way for the price gouging that's been happening downtown and the cleanup for the incoming visitors.
No KKK, no racist USA!
Speaking of price gouging, if you want to park even in any 4 or 5 block radius of that of the US Bank Stadium, the lowest price I saw was $90 for a shitty parking lot, and people are out flagging, trying to beat each other up to get a view in their lot. The Ubers, I heard somebody pay $150 for an Uber last night. And I guess it's been happening all week, not just this weekend. So locals are being very impacted in their daily activities. Can't afford to get around. Can't park downtown. They had on residential streets where there were no residential parking signs. It looked like you could park there. They had fleets of tow trucks just waiting to tow people, make money out there. Who knows how much they're going to charge tow truck lots with all the price gouging going on here. But back to the rally here. So again, it's the Take a Knee, Kaepernick movement against racism, systemic racism in the police force, and they're emphasizing the homeless displacement in the last couple of weeks, the National Guard coming in, the city kicking out the homeless people, removing their dignity and their livelihood.
So we pay for the stadium, we pay for the new banking facilities in England, we're going to pay for the new soccer stadium. So come on, guys. We're gonna take the street, but whose street? Whose street? Our street! Whose street? Our street! Whose street? Our street!
And it is very cold here. Last I checked, it was a whopping 0 degrees. I don't know, it seems like it's going down a little bit now, or maybe it rose a little bit, now it's back to 0, but it's very cold.
Trump is what hypocrisy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Trump is what hypocrisy looks like.
Trump is what hypocrisy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Trump is what hypocrisy looks like.
Trump is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Everybody, I want to be real loud on this. You ready? Together we stand. Together we fall. Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we stand. Together we fall. Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
Together we stand.
Together we stand.
Together we fall.
Together we fall.
Together we say no ban, no wall.
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 When I say black lives, you say matter. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. Black lives. When I say black lives, you say matter. Black lives. 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 says he's going to build the wall. Well, I say build the wall, we'll tear it down. 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 Can someone please hand me a Black Lives Matter? Please, that Black Lives Matter. I don't know why so many people have a problem with that statement. No one says. They never said only Black Lives Matter. They're simply saying that Black Lives Matter also. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out that these people's lives also matter. We have the same, we have the same color blood. We have the same organs, the same heart. We just have different skins. It shouldn't matter what the color of a human being's skin is. All you have to do is be part of humanity to care about others, people's injustice. When I say Black lives, you say matter. Black lives, Black lives, Black lives. I can't hear you. I could go on all day. My lungs were built for this. When I say Black lives, you say matter. Black lives, 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 Black lives.
Us working people, us poor people.
This is the front of the march. We are getting closer to downtown. You see this group getting anywhere near work that today. I'm not expecting any route today. We're not happy about cops not letting them. But this is where they want the march to turn. Not exactly sure the actual location for the rally.
If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
I think they're anticipating the group to follow the pre-planned
if we don't
route today.
if we don't get no justice,
It was like even when organizers make deals with cops and follow the route and plan the route with the cops because they don't want anybody to get arrested, police still show up with clubs in their hands going, no, go this way, we're going to beat the shit out of you. So are they really working with the police? No, the police are going to tell us where to go wherever. They're going to beat the shit out of us because that's the way American cops work. If you don't believe me, watch the couple hundred of my previous live streams from the last 5 years.
what do we want it? What do we want? Justice! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? What are the
Thank you for joining me. Training faster than my battery. So if the feed goes dead, we can get another battery pack plugged in. Keep it on RebZ.tv/live or any one of these channels, and I will be back up. My tech guy's telling me they want money now to apparently too high quality for pay. I apologize for those of you who prefer to watch. So got all the juice sucked out. Shit out of you, they'll go this way. Don't interrupt our multi-million-dollar sporting in the weeks leading up to this. That's more important to represent. Or in solidarity with, if I wasn't with this march, but if they deem you a protester, then apparently you're another class.
How you doing? Yeah.
Who's street? 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 Guilty as hell. The whole system is guilty as hell. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Right, convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Super Bowl, we're at your door. Stop the war on the poor. Hey, Super Bowl, we're at your door. Stop the war on the poor. Hey, Super Bowl, we're at your door. Stop the war on the poor. Hey, Super Bowl, we're at your door. Stop the war on the poor.
So the chant "Stop the War on the Poor," referencing the displacement of the homeless population in the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl here. And I know you could probably also throw in what I was talking about earlier, all the price gouging that's been going on downtown here. But specifically what they're referring to is, they even used the National Guard, from what I'm hearing, to help sweep up the homeless population and get them away from where they wanted.
Immigrant rights are under attack. What do we do?
And you gotta understand, a lot of times, especially in the days leading up to this weekend, we're not just talking about giving somebody a bus ticket and they're happily taking it. We're talking about literally locking people up to keep them off the streets for a few days and then just throwing them back out there with nothing. They had nothing. You lock them up because they have nothing, because they're a nuisance to you. And then you throw them back on the street when all the visitors are gone, again with nothing. I don't understand how that's helping a city except look good to the visitors coming. That's all it does.
What do we do? When women's rights are under attack, what do we do? When women's rights are under attack, what do we do? Our civil rights are under attack, what do we do? Our human rights are under attack, what do we do? Native lives are.
All right, my charge is holding strong at 10%. But again, if the feed dies prematurely, it's because this cold is just sucking the power out of my devices and battery packs.
The Muslim community is under attack. What do we do?
So if the feed goes down, give me a couple minutes. I'll try to get back up as soon as humanly possible.
The Somali community is under attack. What do we do? 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 Are we going to let cold weather stop us from marching? Are we going to let Donald Trump stop us from marching? Are we going to let the system of corrupt police stop us from marching? Are we going to let anything stop us from marching? When I say black lives, you say matter. Black lives. 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 say free. I can't. 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 I can't.
All right, I'm going to request from Miss Andy Jones to do our chant. Ready? Boom! Boom! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground!
We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground! We're here! We're here to shut this shit down! Boots! Boots! Boots on the ground!
We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
Boots! Boots! Can we hit the ground?
We're here! We're here to shut this shit down!
They just closed the big announcement that people in jail to New York. So let's go ahead and be the rules for them.
I want to ask you a question, and I want to hear you like you mean it. Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose streets?
Our streets!
Whose
Our streets! Our streets!
Whose streets?
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 So welcome to viewers, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Just moments away before the Super Bowl kicks off. We're just blocks away from the stadium here. Protesters under the banner of the Take a Knee movement with other organizations involved today. This has been planned months in advance, obviously. Super Bowl, what better day to protest and show solidarity to the Take a Knee movement, solidarity to Colin Kaepernick, and against the racism in the NFL and with its fans. And also specifically the Take a Knee was to symbolize systemic racism in the police force that's happening throughout the country. If you followed me, that's what Kaepernick has been taking a knee for. But other causes have been added to today. Specifically, a call out about what the city's done to the homeless population in the last couple weeks leading up to Super Bowl. Displacing the homeless population, taking away their home territories, their livelihoods. And you know, because it happens in other cities when they do this, in the days leading up, that's literally meaning locking up homeless people in jail or wherever they can contain them so they can toss them back out on the streets Monday again, once all the visitors are gone. We've actually got a couple of cops coming into the march now.
Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hate Super Bowl! We're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! Hey, Super Bowl, we're at your door! Stop the war! On the poor! whole downtown. When do they do that? They never do that.
Mind if I get a picture before you stand up there?
They scrubbed it of homeless people. They scrubbed it of the youth that hang out here at night. They don't care about the people who live here. When they leave, we still have to deal with homelessness. We still have to deal with the fact that this school system is $30 million in debt. But they want us to be happy for some stupid Super Bowl. I do not care.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
So we are getting close. There's US Bank Stadium, where the Super Bowl is slated to kick off in just about 20 minutes. I could be wrong. I'm not a sports guy usually myself. I enjoy watching it from time to time, but I Googled it and it said 5:30, so I'm going off that if that was correct. So it looks like we're approaching the US Bank Stadium village that they've created here.
if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice.
Apparently we're at Stadium Entry 3 into the Super Bowl here. I do see what appears to be people lining up and entering the stadium ahead of us. Like, I'll know when we get closer.
Our streets! These are our streets!
Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
All right, so the Take a Knee rally actually was able to make it to right in front of the at least one of the gates to US Bank Stadium, where the Super Bowl is about to kick off. So for new reviewers, thanks for joining me here in Minneapolis. Glad I could be here. This wasn't actually the reason I came to Minneapolis. It just happened to time out just great, which is amazing. So I'm glad I was able to get my stream up. Haven't streamed since the Black Friday protest in Chicago on my way out of St. Louis. Sorry, I've been absent for the last couple months, taking a much-needed mental break and recharging and getting ready to hit the road again, which obviously now I am. 1,200 miles on the road so far here in Minneapolis. Sorry, no worries, bro. And I'll be heading out west. No planned things to cover yet, but I always play it by ear and end up finding myself in the right place at the right time. And right now I'm heading out west, possibly to Portland in a couple weeks, and then down to California to work on a documentary with a buddy. And of course I will stream along the way, or stop, or make a detour, wherever I need to cover, as you know I usually do. You know, when I feel I need to be there, I'm there. And I couldn't have kept going these last 6 years without help from you guys. I don't run on much of a budget, but every few dollars does help. Food, gas, data. I run on a shoestring budget, but it still adds up when you have to do this on the road. So if you appreciate my work over the last 6 years, you want me to keep going over the next few years and keep this ball rolling, every bit helps. $5, $10 helps me get a meal, put gas in the tank, and get to where I need to be. Also on the donate page now, I've also added my Venmo payment, make it a little easier for to use Venmo. Pretty easy app to exchange money with. And you can also do one-time payments, or you could also do the monthly contributions. $3 monthly contributions. They add up. They definitely do help. Trust me. When I've got a lull and no activity to be out streaming, those couple of dollars come in can help me turn my phone on for the month. So. Thanks for joining me again here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Take a Knee rally. Planned months in advance, obviously, to show solidarity. Super Bowl makes sense with Colin Kaepernick. The direct connection to the NFL, obviously. Take a Knee, highlighting the systemic racism within the police force. That was the original intent behind it, but then what it did is demonstrated the racism within the NFL itself, within the fandom itself. So it's demonstrating that people are actually taking a knee right now. But they also wanted to highlight the fact that the city of Minneapolis has been pushing out, displacing all the homeless population from downtown leading up to this. And of course, in days leading up to that, it means locking people up just so they can then throw them back on the street with nothing they had when they got locked up with, which was their only crime, having nothing. Get thrown back on the street after all the visitors are gone. The rich people, the rich white guys you just saw walking in the stadium, city looks great to them, they'll leave, hey, cool. And that's what they do it for those guys, for the people paying thousands of dollars to come in here, not for the people that have to live here on a daily basis. So the rally and march, the march did make its way down to U.S. Bank Stadium here, out in front of stadium entry number 3, taking a knee, saying some words. Let's see if we can hear what they're saying.
Thank you so much for being here today. I am so proud to be with you here. My name is Michelle and I'm with Community United Against Criminality. And I'm proud to be out here. And if you can see me, I take a knee at the same time, but I'll just stand up. Because what we know, we are here. Because police brutality is rampant in the state of Minnesota. Poverty is rampant in the state of Minnesota. Homelessness is rampant in Minnesota. And yet we have this corporate squeeze fest going on right behind us. Homeless people that shut down the streets a whole damn week so that these 1%er assholes can come out here and have some fun. Until we get our house in order, we got no damn business funding this kind of crap. So I see you on your knees and I know it's cold. I just want to say this. We know it's cold, but I want to say thank you for taking a knee. Now we're going to stand up for the people who have been killed by police. So stand up. Stand up for the people that were killed by police in this state. Since 2000, we have had 459 people die at the hands of law enforcement in the state of Minnesota. So we're standing up. We're standing up for Cordell Handy. We're standing up for Marcus Golden. We're standing up, of course, for Philando Castillo. We're standing up for Phil Quinn. We're standing up for Jeffrey Smith. We're standing up for Geno Smith.
Good example, sir. Great example.
We're standing up for many, many more. A lot of names you've never even heard. Names like Rosa Sakina, 101 years old, run over by a St. Paul cop and murdered. Lots and lots of names like that. So now we stand up for them. Next.
You gotta push the. You gotta be behind it. Behind it.
It's gotta be behind it. That's my bad, sorry. Now we're standing up for all these people. Next we fight for these people. Because we kneel, we stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight.
We kneel.
We stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight. Kneel, we stand, we fight. Kneel, we stand, we fight.
We kneel.
We stand, we fight. We kneel, we stand, we fight. We stand, we fight. We kneel, 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 we stand, we fight. Because long after these 1%ers get their lazy asses out of Minnesota, long after they're gone, we still have a fight to battle for justice for people in this community. We still have to kneel, stand, and fight. And particularly that last one. We gotta fight like hell. We got a hell of a battle. Because this city ain't trying to help poor people. It ain't trying to stop police brutality. It ain't trying to make a better place for most of us who are working class people. That's the deal here. So we had a hell of a fight, and I'm so happy to be joining you in this fight. I will see you every damn day in the streets. Thank you for being here. Okay, I just want to thank the SAC Coalition for putting this together. I want to thank TCC for Jay as well for leading this fight as well, because like Michelle said, when all these rich people leave, we're still here, and we're gonna fight every day. So join with any of us, any of these organizations that are out here, the New North, TCC for Jay, Mirac, any of these organizations that are anti-war committee, any of these organizations that are fighting for us, fighting for all of us, for a better world. We don't need Super Bowls, we need homes, we need better education. We need to end the police brutality. We don't need Super Bowls. Do we ask for this Super Bowl? No. Do we ask for this stadium? No. So we need to keep fighting. So I want to thank all these great organizations.
When people of color are under attack, what will we do? Stand up, fight back! What will we do? Stand up, fight back! When people of color are under attack, what will we do? Stand up, fight back! Hey, hello. Hey, I promised Mama Val, man. My name is John Thompson, by the way. I'm a local Baptist Missouri singer. Y'all can bear with me for a minute. I promised my mama I would do something. I told her I would scream my name, my friend's name, wherever I go. So, on the count of 3, can y'all scream with me? So let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, listen. I stand before you today with my wide set nose. Can y'all hear that again? I stand before you today with my wide set nose. Mad as hell because my brothers can't breathe. My brothers can't breathe because they being choked out by a racist system. A racist system they call the St. Paul, Minneapolis Police Department and the Federation. But it's just not St. Paul. It's just not Minneapolis. It's actually Philadelphia. It's actually Boston. It's actually Inglewood, California. It's actually all over the world. There's an attack on the black man. And what I'm saying is, they'll tear the head off the state, and the body will fall into compliance. The black man is the head of the family. Snatch his head off, and guess what happens? The body of the family falls into compliance. There's an all-out attack with the legislation, the judicial system, and the police department. They are killing us in the streets. You see, Colin Kaepernick never marched or took a knee because of the damn flag of the divided states of America. Colin Kaepernick took a knee because he's sick of the police killing his brothers and sisters. Colin Kaepernick took a knee because he's sick of him with his racist ass president talking about Make America great again. Wait a minute. Did he say something else? He said, immigrants, go back to your shithole country. Well, let me tell you this. Racism makes the divided states of America a shithole country. I'm going to tell y'all that. Racism, police brutality, killing our brothers and sisters, oppressing the homeless. You know it's a crime to be broke. It's a crime to be homeless. It's a crime to be black. It's a crime to be out here in the streets marching. That's why they standing around you with all this police security. They scared of us when we unite like this, y'all. I lost my voice out here, but I want y'all to keep hitting these streets. Look, one more thing. This is my last piece. Shout out to Nick Zerwas. I don't know if y'all know who Nick Zerwas is, but Nick Zerwas, he proposed a bill that said he would penalize protesters for doing exactly what he's doing. I don't know if y'all follow what I told him, but I told him every time the police kill somebody out here in these streets, we'll be our ass out here in these streets, marching with boots on the ground. Hey, I love y'all. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it. Thank you.
All right, so it's getting I want to go home. Our feet are frozen. So we're going to march back up where the way we came, I believe, and just follow the marshals, and we're going to head back. All right? Let's get going. Yeah.
Colors the car.
We got a march back. Blue streets.
So the rally in front of the stadium now over. Protesters for the Take a Knee March and Rally today now heading back in the direction from whence they came.
If we don't get no justice, 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 if we don't get no justice.
And I will say quite a very good turnout considering how cold it is today. Hundreds of people here in the bitter, bitter cold. It was 0 degrees earlier when I checked. Show you on the live stream real quick?
Sure.
This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Tell us what's going on here, Nico.
Well, right now we have this public action. Right now I just came back from another action. There was a blockade.
I was watching. Yeah.
Check that out on UnicornRiot.news.
We also shared it on RebZ Facebook page too. You can find that.
Check it out on RebZ Facebook. Thank you, RebZ. Thank you. You know, this is a bubbling, emotional time here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. A lot of people are fed up. That stadium back here behind us is the largest infrastructure project in Minnesota history, almost $1 billion. Minnesota taxpayers in Minneapolis have paid 3 stadiums worth of over $100 million to create these sporting venues and sporting events while the people suffer. They push out homeless. The disparities between economics and jobs and jail rates is through the roof, top of the nation. So that's what we have. The community comes out. They want to show some kind of protest. It's very limited as to what they can do. You see, it's a very highly secured area. It's, you know, I'm sure John's been telling you. I'm sure RebZ's been telling y'all. It's an NSSE event essentially. It's SEAR, S-E-A-R-I. So essentially that's where we're at. But yeah, continue to check it out. Thank you, RebZ. Continue to watch the stream. Good shit. Check out UnicornRiot.ninja as well. Peace, y'all.
Yeah, and don't forget to donate to Unicorn Riot. Go to unicornriot.ninja. Support their work. There's a button for it. You can do micro monthly payments. You can do one-time donations. And they've got, how many are in your collective now?
10.
They got 10 people in their collective, basically volunteers.
Yep.
You know, these donations, they help pay for travel costs sometimes, they help pay for equipment, but they're not really getting paid for this. I mean, they're doing this like I am. We're all doing this for the passion, and so if you support good independent journalism, please donate to Unicorn Riot.
Appreciate that, Much love. Same back. Without y'all's support, a man wouldn't be able to get where he's going. So we need you all to help us provide you all the coverage that we are doing. So thank you for all your hard work.
You know, the way I look at it, people donating to you guys is like supporting me. It's supporting all independent journalists. Whichever one you support, that's supporting the medium, that's showing, that's going to keep us going, so that way, like, we'll still have a voice. You'll still have a voice.
Yep.
I might fade away, Unicorn Riot might fade away, but we're building something here. And so...
You all build it yourselves as well.
You guys are building it. You're helping us. We're not doing shit. We're just dumb enough to get out here in the streets in the cold, freezing cold.
Very true. Hey, thank you, Rev.
All right, man. Thanks, Nico.
See you.
All right, bro. Yep. So speaking of, if you would like to help out the RebZ team, RebZ.tv/donate. I've got a new way to help me out. You can use my Venmo payment option or PayPal one-time payment. Or you can do, with the one-time payment, you don't need a PayPal account to do that. You can do monthly donations as well. You do need a PayPal account for that. $1 to $3 a month. You won't even notice it. That's going to help me out immensely. Anything more than that is really going to help me build this and keep going. I am traveling out west, so anything I need to cover, I obviously need your help to do that. And getting out west is actually work too. I'm hoping to meet up with a buddy, work on a documentary, work on some other stuff, work on a way to get back on the street with a team more sustainably. But that's all that happened out west. I need your help to do that as well. It's all work. So again, thank you for joining me here in Minneapolis, Minnesota today, everyone. Taking the, you okay? Taking the rally and march. Protesters met around 3 to 3:30 and lined up about 4 o'clock and marched a good many blocks down here to US Bank Stadium. The organizers of the march had a pre-planned route with police, which did lead them up to US Bank Stadium, or one of the entrances, I should say. Looked like one of the less populated entrances. Oh, pardon me, behind you.
Sorry. Wait.
So again, thank you everyone for joining me for the march and rally. It's been a good hour-and-a-half stream today. And it lasted all the way through the cold. I was thinking there for a while my phone was going to crap out of me. It's holding strong at 8% now. Battery pack with the severe cold, not charging it fast enough, just barely fast enough to try to maintain a solid level, but it is going down. But it made it through the whole stream, so I'm happy. So again, just to go back to a couple minutes ago when I was talking to Nico from Unicorn Riot, they got actually there's 4 of the Unicorn Riot collective on the scene of the march here right now. But Nico, he was at the earlier lockdown blockade of the light rail. So if you saw that, we did share it on the Revolutionary Z Facebook page, or you can go to Unicorn Riot Facebook page or unicornriot.ninja and check out the recorded stream of that. And he just got here from that. You saw me talking to him, giving us a good laydown of the story in Minneapolis here with the stadiums, with football, and why this is so personal here for protesters. And with Philando Castile, you know, Take a Knee is all about systemic police racism and the shooting of black men. And then you have Philando Castile and the Super Bowls here in Minnesota, NFL, Take a Knee. It all came to a head here, and so this is a very poignant protest. And then with the city kicking out the homeless population weeks in advance, and the excessive price gouging. I mean, we're talking the cheapest place I saw to park downtown was $90, and somewhere up at over $200. I was hearing reports of, even before the weekend, as the weekend was starting, Uber rides going for over $100, $150. And now that the sun is going down, the temperature is dropping quite rapidly. It was 0 degrees earlier, and when the sun wasn't so bad on the old face, and now definitely feeling it. It's no North Dakota Standing Rock weather, but close enough.
Donald Trump tells people of color to go back to shit old countries. He forgot that this ain't his land. This is native land. For centuries, native people were taken, their land was stolen, their women raped, their heads cut off. They had contests that actually see how they cut off the heads of the native men. African Americans for 400 years enslaved, and then he passed the audacity to tell us to go back to our own countries. This is native land. Whose land? 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 Native land. I say Black Lives You Say Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
I
All right. Sorry, we had a broadcast interruption. The app crashed. Should be back up and running live. I can't even check my other phone to see, so either you're still with me or I'm talking to nobody right now. I'll find out in a bit, but if you're still with me, thanks. It's cold out here, and got the feed back up, so it should be good. Marchers marching back to where they came from. No, we're only a couple blocks away here at this point. Thanks for joining me here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
No racist war, no war, no war, no civil rights. Everybody, let's go. Let's give them time to blow. Thank you. We're standing together. Don't forget that. It's below zero. It's the Super Bowl. But we don't give a damn. We're on the streets.
People in the apartment buildings showing support for the marchers.
When I say Terrence, you say Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. Terrence. Franklin. When I say Michael, you say Brown. Michael. Brown. Michael. Brown. Michael. Brown. Michael. Brown. Michael. Brown. Michael. Brown. When I say Tamir, you say Rice. Tamir. 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 Rice. When I say I can't, you say breathe. I can't 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 breathe. When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives 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 Matter. When I say Native Lives, you say matter. Native Lives 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 Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Immigrant rights. Immigrant rights matter. Immigrant rights matter. Immigrant rights matter. Civil rights matter. Civil rights matter. Human rights matter. Human rights matter. Human rights matter. Human rights matter. Civil rights matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Human rights 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 matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black If we don't get no justice,
they don't get no peace.
If we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice,
They don't get no peace.
if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no justice, if we don't get no
Donald Trump has got to go. protesters got to go. Hey, hey. Hey. China protesters got to go. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey.
They say, go back.
We say fight back.
They say,
We say fight back.
they say,
We say
they say,
go back. Fight back. Go back.
we say,
Fight back.
they say,
Go back.
we say,
Fight back. Go back.
we say,
Fight back.
they say,
Go back.
we say,
Fight back.
they say,
Go back.
we say,
Fight back.
they say,
Go back.
we say,
Fight back. Go back.
we say,
Fight 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 back. Stand up, fight back!
We did say something very important. Almost 3 hours ago, we take down, and we passed out there in the stadium. And we are so proud for everybody. We are so proud. It's almost 25 below, and we are here in the streets, and like a guy grew up in revolution in my country. I'm gonna say something. Fuck yeah! We do it! And we do this shit again and again. And we go in the street again. And every time the freaking rich came and tried to say this state is only for the rich, we're gonna say no. This is our street. This is our city. This is the people's city. And this is the people power. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody, the signs you can put it here. Thank you so much. See you May 1st. We're going to take the streets again. Thank you so much to everybody.
Great job, everyone.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Oh,
here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Glad I could be here for the Take a Knee March In rally. Heading up here, you see behind me back where it started. Protesters marched to U.S. Bank Stadium. This was planned months ago, obviously in solidarity with the Take a Knee movement. Colin Kaepernick, which is against police brutality, against systemic abuses within the police force, systemic racism in our police forces. Him being a football player, take a knee, Super Bowl. It was a great planned protest. The protesters got up to the gates of the stadium, made their point, and on this very cold day, marched back. They've been out here for more than 3 hours. Some people who were at the previous action this morning have been out for all day long. And what started at 0 degrees earlier, so I'm sure it's a wonderful negative at this point, especially with wind chill. But people held up here in Minnesota. A lot of them are from Minnesota, so they're used to it, unlike me. Although Chicago's pretty close. So we are wrapping up here. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Glad I could be live for you. It's down at the bottom, RebZ.tv /donate. You can help me out. If you've appreciated my coverage in the past, yes, I've taken a couple months off. I've needed a break after Charlottesville, St. Louis, and Shelbyville. I needed a break from social media and just get my head together and recharge. So I'm here. I'm back on the road. I'm heading west. I don't know what I'll be covering. Obviously, these things come up as I'm needed. I know where to go, and I'll be there. And I rely on your support to do that, to get me to where I need to be, to help pay for my data costs, to help with equipment, and basically just food. I run on a shoestring budget, and I can only do that because of you guys. I don't take ad revenue. I don't get paid by any corporate bosses. I'm paid by you guys. So that's what gives you the unfiltered, raw truth that you've seen for the last 6 years. So if you appreciate that, you can help me out down there. I've got a new payment option, Venmo, if that helps you guys out. I've got that there on the donate page. Yeah, I gotta get back that way. All right, flip this bad boy around. So again, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, everyone, I thank you for joining me. Sorry if you guys wanted to watch on Periscope. I could not get that operated today, but I did have YouTube, Facebook, and Ustream all going live. Thank you guys for watching on whatever platform you did. And you guys have a wonderful evening. I will see you guys very soon. Have a good night.